recall probably that we were the first ones using the hybrid space for our AGM, with 40 people attending and another roughly 100 online. But I'm sure that Diana, Jörg, and Robin will share a lot of insights, experiences about this room, what has happened within the last 5 months, as well as they will give us an outlook what our industry might expect and how they see the future for our industry, besides having a vaccination and being able to travel again. So I want to hand over then to Hanover, and yeah, we are curious about what you're going to tell us. And Diana, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Uta, and thank you for the introduction. So my name is Diana, and I welcome you here in Hanover, in Langenhagen. And who else is with me here today? To my right side, I do have Jörg.
Welcome back.
You might know him already. And to my further right, I do have Robin. He will tell you something about our hybrid space. And what are we going to do today? So Robin will start and tell you something about the hybrid space, the area where we are today. And he will show you a video example with different kind of references. Then you will get an introduction from Jörg about the main topics. And we will show you about something about our umbrella brand strategy, Holtmann Plus. Then we have an interaction planned with you online. And we wrap this whole thing up with a short Q&A.
First things first, Diana, I got to interrupt on that one. Can you zoom this in with the camera? I come closer to the camera. We have created our own vaccine. You might know that one. Have you tried it last time you were all here in Hanover this way?
We might need some light.
Holtmann gin, actually. So this is going to end up good with this session. I heard Uta talking about some crazy cocktail sessions. Oh, you have a, what is that? The botanist? No.
No, that's Roku. That's Japanese.
Oh, the Japanese
I thought
version of it.
Far East gin would be great today.
So I urge you guys, without any further ado, get a drink prepared. We're going to enjoy that one later. But hey, first you have to allow us a little talking on that one. Robin, the stage is yours.
Stage is mine. Okay, then let's start with my presentation about the hybrid space. The hybrid space is a platform for life experience, for hybrid life experience, for physical, digital, or hybrid events. But before I will go to some examples, what kind of events we had here in the last days, weeks, month, I want to give a short theory introduction. First of all, the question, what means hybrid? I think that's the easy part. Physical combined with digital, that's hybrid. But the more interesting question is, who or what can be hybrid? Mostly customers only think about the recipient, only think about the viewer, the participant, the visitor. But if we have a look on this sender-recipient model, we see that we can also hybridize the sender, the moderator, the speaker, the presenter, giving the hybrid signal to the recipient. We can get the content hybrid. And another very important point is the interaction between the recipient and the sender. For sure, we have advantages on digital events or digital extensions. Easy thing is that we don't have travel expenses for the sender, for the recipient. We have lower participation hurdles for the sender, for the recipient. We have more sustainability on the content. We have more content on less space. But the most important point is the higher range. But what means range? On physical events, we were also only talking about the attendees, the physical guests in here in the room. But now, as we also have the other audience, the digital participants, both combined, we're talking about the range, though we have a higher range on hybrid events than on physical events. Then we have some advantages on of physical presence. For sure, we have a high contact intensity for the sender, for the recipient, and we have the haptic experience. And okay, honestly, we can't hybridize that. That's not possible. But We can get meetings and even random contacts hybrid on a hybrid solution and the interaction. And that's blue because I got some more information for you on that. The easy part is the interaction. There's different solutions for interaction, for hybrid interaction. Simple solution is question answer tools, voting tools. We'll have a look on that later on. The meetings, workshops, individual discussions for us, this is daily business. All our meeting rooms are hybrid with microphones, cameras, and so on. So for sure, it's easy to include hybrid meeting rooms, hybrid workshops, hybrid breakout sessions into hybrid events. And now let's have a short view into the future, but honestly, it's not really future, it's reachable. We are working on solutions for that. We also have solutions, or are working on solutions for random contacts on hybrid events. I will keep that short. Just imagine a hybrid meeting room, but designed as a lobby, as a coffee bar, not 150 square meters. Let's talk about a small hybrid meeting room designed as a lobby. So even that is possible to make random contacts on hybrid events. And the most important thing about that is the virtual attendance. The virtual guests getting into one of those rooms signals readiness for contact. But enough theory, let's talk about the hybrid space. Let's get into the hybrid space. And the first thing you see when you get here into our hybrid space is our safety space for the visitor check-in. We start here with a fever scan, automatical fever scan without humans needed. After the fever scan, you get into the hybrid space to get registered, you get your badge, and for sure, we also check there if everybody's wearing a mask. Then the first example, I guess most of you might know that the IFES World Summit, a hybrid event. But even in that example, it's a few good cases to show. On the upper left side, you have a look on our monitor screen for the moderator, and that shows the hybridization of the visitor, of the guests. They were put into that event by camera. Another option is just to give them the stream so that the guests are not turning on their camera. Both options do have different advantages. One big advantage of all our guests, or at least some guests, into that event with camera is that me on stage, or everybody on stage, the moderator, the speakers, can see the virtual audience, which is very important to always have in mind that maybe there's 40 people in here in this room, but there might be 400, 4,000 or 40,000 people out there watching the stream. So it's very important to always have that in mind, to talk to both audiences, to talk to both different worlds. And another example I can give on an annual general meeting. Let's make an example. Let's say the management board members are in the room physically. Then the department heads are into that event, turning on their camera, and all rest employees just watch the stream. That gives us the opportunity that the department heads can ask their questions live face-to-face. We can do live questioning, putting somebody that got a question right here on the big screen into the stream, do live questionings. And for sure, for the employees that don't have the camera turned on, we got some other solutions for the interaction. I will come to that point later on. Here's some other examples, most of all on the upper left side, lower left side, upper right side for the hybridization of the sender. As you all might know, there were a lot of speakers brought into that event virtually by camera from the home office. So that's the hybridization of the sender. The next example is the Digital Signage Summit, which was a symposium for digital solutions. And in the past, that was hosted as a physical event with 400 to 500 guests. And the host of that event, they hoped for at least in the only digital version of that event for the same number of guests in the digital version. So they hoped for at least 400 to 500 guests. And they were really surprised because And that's the big point about the reach. Finally, they had 2,500 guests joining that event in the digital solution. So that shows that the reach is a different thing than the physical guests. Another thing, another example I can show here, because right now I'm in a physical room, the hybrid space. It is called the hybrid space, but it's a physical room. And for sure, we also need the digital pendant to the physical room, digital hybrid space for our virtual guests. And the easiest way of a virtual hybrid space is a simple landing page. And you can see an example here right above me, even including the agenda, including digital or virtual meeting rooms, chat functions, and question and answer tools. The next example was a panel discussion on Vision Car-Free City Center. The host planned to do that event only physically with their 200 members. Due to Corona, they couldn't do it physically, so they decided to do a hybrid event. 40 members in here, and the other 160 members were given the stream on the internet. And as they filmed everything, they decided, okay, we can, besides the stream for the inner circle, for the members, we can do an open stream with less interaction options for everybody worldwide. So it is a question of the concept, which participants virtually should have which options of interaction on a virtual or hybrid event. And on this event, we worked with question-answer tools, Mentimeter or Slido, one of those tools. It was on that event. That brings me to another very important point. It's always important to get the same quality for the virtual guests as the quality for the physical guests. And at least on the interaction, the quality was the same for both audiences on this event. We worked with Slido or Mentimeter, and that tool was integrated into the landing page for the virtual guests. For the members, right next to the stream, they could see, they could point their questions. And same for the physical guests in here. They just had to scan their badge with their cell phone. An app opened, and they had the same option to place their questions. And in the direction backstage, they decided, okay, I want to give those questions now from the virtual, from the hybrid, from the physical guests right on stage. The next example is the KMH exclusive from the Highland Zone company, a hybrid event. They actually wanted to make an exhibition stand to present their 40 delivery men. But before I will explain what we did in here for them, let's have a look on a short video clip.
So thank you very much. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I want to continue if it's okay for you.
Yes, please continue. Everything is live.
Well, the biggest task for us was to put 40 delivery men into one event, and it's a different thing to have a physical event or a hybrid event. So we played different slots. The event was over 2 days, and we played 2 slots a day to present all 40 delivery men. And as you could already see this in the video clip. We had some product presentations, digital and haptical product presentations right here on stage, but also on our side stages, our product stages, and even outdoor on external stages. So the moderation was always give the word to the product presentators on the side stages. Here's a good example. On the lower right side, you can see a product presentation, and even when we were outside, this was for sure filmed by a video team and given on that big screen for the physical people and here, and for sure given into the stream. Besides, for sure, we need a lot of side spaces for the get-together, for breakout sessions, and for external areas, as I just mentioned it on the last event. Therefore, here in Hanover, we have a lot of meeting rooms, we have a piazza, we have a terrace, and a lot of space outdoors to present even bigger products that don't fit into this room. And I want to finish with a short overview of all components we need on a hybrid event. It starts with a conception of the hybrid live communication, then the safety and hygiene concept. Then for sure we need the location, either a hybrid space or maybe even a hybrid network, combine different hybrid spaces to one big show. We need the side spaces for the get-together, for breakout sessions. We need the digital hybrid platform, the pendant to the physical room we are in here right now. We need the hybrid interactive solutions for meetings, breakout sessions, question answer tools, the votings, and one thing very important is the storybook, the script. Then for sure we need content, documentation, branding, a good direction. Backstage is very important. We have to think about the moderation, guest speakers, maybe translation into one, two, or many languages. Set building, furniture, the classic stuff. We need the personal service outdoor or for sometimes even here on stage. We need to think about catering and travel. And the last thing is the invitation and registration management. And that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Robin. Thank you for this very interesting and informative presentation. So now we will go on with an expert talk. And to do this expert talk, I would like to ask Jörg to come back on stage.
Me, guys? Yes, here we go.
But
I'm glad you call me expert.
Of course. But before we start with the expert talk, we will show you a short video of Holtmann Plus.
It's called a little product placement, right?
A little bit.
Excuse me on that one. I couldn't avoid that. Hey, welcome back to everyone anyway. Before she's asking questions, some of you guys know this room physically. Some of them don't. You've been here virtually at the AGM, I believe. I hope you recognize it. It's still the same room. We put a little different content in here. So yes, here we are again.
Yes. So let's do this.
Yes.
So Robin has told us something about the hybrid space and about the range we're going to create with our online guests. So Jörg, how is this range created and what is everything about this range? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Well, you know, that's one thing that people are missing, actually. So if we're talking about the format like exhibitions, people are missing, of course, the physical meeting platform. They all miss the coverage they're trying to produce there. They're trying to get into dialogues, into physical meetings, which actually feel good. As you know, you get a direct feedback and all that. So what is missing right now is the lack of physical presence at any kind of format, be it a show, be it a product placement, be it a product presentation, be it a keynote speech where you actually attend physically. It's all going into digital meetings. I believe you guys, as we all are, a little annoyed of that. It's getting a little boring. So we need to create interactive meeting platforms where this coverage, which is missing right now, is gained back, right? So coverage is what is most important. You want to send out messages to your audience, which is not able to attend physically. So that is something we have to learn. We have to reach out to our clients in a different way. And that way is not physical at this point, or it's just limited in terms of physical presence in any kind of meetings you're trying to attend right now. So coverage is the key, and it's got to be exclusive in a way where we say, this is a hype you create towards your products or your services, whatever you want to provide. You know, exclusivity is something that is creating kind of sex appeal in terms of, you know, there's a value you bring to the table, and don't spoil it with boring keynotes and boring presentations that nobody's interested in. We have learned that within a couple of minutes, your interest level is, well, going downhill, and we have to avoid that. So that is what we have learned. Coverage is the key, combined with exclusive stories you have to tell in order to drive people on their interest level on a very high level.
Thank you. So then we heard a lot about the hybrid space in the beginning, but the hybrid space has different kind of formats. What are these formats? So what can we do here and what can we achieve?
Well, anything you can imagine, actually. The key is communication. Communication that has to feel good, otherwise the transforming of messages will not work. Information needs to come through to your clients or the clients of our clients. We used to think in our, you know, exhibit booth building knowledges and all this cycle is still very solid on the ground. You build something. Right now you don't build nothing. Unless it is kind of in a television show or something, or it's a stage outside somewhere which doesn't pay the dues. We all know that. And we stopped complaining in April, exactly on April 14. Don't ask me why, but we stopped moaning on April 14 this year and thought, like, what do we have to change? Because the market is changing like crazy. So COVID-19 actually accelerated like crazy what we've started already. We needed to transform, and that is all about communication. Anything that is possible was what was driving us, actually, and that is how we changed ourselves. So we thought about what situations in terms of communication, meetings, and any kind of presentation you were thinking of, be it a trade show, be it a meeting, be it a conference, anything you think of, needs to be brought into one room, under one roof, that you can engage with the people you're trying to communicate with. So that is where we thought 5, 6, 7 different situations need to be brought under one roof, that you can practice that, how to pull in your online audience, and if possible, combine that with physical people in the room. So you combine different situations of communication and different people in different selective audiences, different audience groups, so to speak. And that is something where we came up with a concept, not just a room. It is not a physical room per se. It's got to be understood as a platform, as a concept, so to speak. That hybrid communication is the key. No matter how much digital elements or how many digital elements there are integrated, it's just a physical as well as digital melting pot. And this will remain, no matter how much digitalization we will have on the ground in 2022. This needs to be practiced. So the coverage and any kind of communication situation needs to be brought forward into the new normal, whatever that will be. It'll be a mixture and a decent mix, fitting to the target audience in different manners and with different tools. What we have to understand in that sense is, what is the story and what is relevant and what kind of format fits at the end of the day to the story. So totally different to what we all have done in the past.
Okay.
That was a little long, wasn't it?
That was a little
Short
long.
question. I'm sorry.
But that's
I
okay.
like talking.
Yeah, you already went into the transformation of the market and also the transformation and the changes into the company. So another question I have for you, with the interaction, you told us that the audience doesn't stay focused for a long time, so you need to do something to keep them focused. So what can we do besides with the interaction tools Robin told us about in the beginning?
There's different tools, but it's not about the tools. Again, you got to be interacting with the clients all the time. So if you do not interact, it's like a physical meeting as well. You lose traction once you're getting into, you know, a boring tone or just, you know, a boring story. That story needs to be interesting, and it's got to interact with people that are not physically on the ground. So that's probably another challenge. If they are with you in the same room, you get to know whether this person is interested or not following you any longer. So you got to do something automatically. Online is different. You just see the faces. Probably they have a virtual face or virtual image uploaded, so you don't see nothing. So pulling those guys in needs to engage those people. So there's different technical tools, but it's, again, not about technology. It's about the story itself, how to pull people in and how to engage them. Robin was mentioning one very basic thing, for instance, that is called Slido or Mentimeter. That is something, if you want to, we can actually practice that one. If we can easily upload that. But before we do that, actually, one thing just to the transformation, which is on the screen or in your screen as well. This is the value chain we have tried to reevaluate, let's put it that way. So reevaluation means we have started talking and communicating with our clients in the past once we have known there is a story, there's a concept, there's a communication agency, there is some other marketing agencies, and we are, I wouldn't say last, but a little behind in the value chain. So that's probably, I've got 4 phases actually. We have started in phase number 3 and ended up in phase number 4. But what we wanted to do is, as the markets are shifting anyway, and that was prior to COVID-19 already happening, people are out there and ask for an agent which can do both communication, storytelling, and transforming the story into reality. So that is just been accelerated like hell with COVID-19, and we thought we combine that all under one competence center, which is called Holtmann Plus. Plus is you mix together the perfect experts to fulfill a story that's been created within the dialogue of our customer-centric approach. So we started asking open questions, and it was hard for our sales guys to shut up after asking an open question. And so you have a big notepad, one question, and then you just start listening. And listening up came up with crazy ideas, which we have never had an idea about how to put that into reality, as we used to build exhibit booths. But listening to clients came up with different solution options, and all of them are having this bottom line, which is 4 different phases combined under one roof. So that is how we interpreted market change. We need to have competences, and we need to have people covering 4 phases instead of just 2, and at the same time you start talking to your clients much earlier, way earlier, because you get involved into their marketing communication. So this way we try to be a combination of a marketing agency as well as a booth building company, or let's say we are an experiential marketing agency so far. It's hard to make our clients believe that we can do that, but that is where we came into picture with this little hybrid space, and how to, transform communication from yesterday into the future. So we make future, kind of reliable and physically experiential at this point by offering this kind of platform here. So interaction is something we can show that right now. We can practice that right now with Menti. If you want to log on to the website, which is called menti.com.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just my screen, but I don't have a chance to read the value chain. I think it starts with something like analysis and strategy.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'm lost.
You cannot see the rest.
Well, now it's getting better, but it was so small written that I wasn't able to read. Maybe I have to just clean my glasses, but right now I think this helps for everybody just to have a close look on this so that you now can continue with Menti.
Okay. Otherwise, have another drink, Uta, and it's getting clearer.
maybe this is the fault.
We come to the second drink later anyway. So yes, focus. Yes, it's not about all this small writing here. It is about, you know, the 4 phases and of course customer centricity. And he can tell thousands of stories about customer centricity, as we have shared a couple of sessions here in Hanover as well with Han together. That was crazy good, as we kind of, you know, that was a mind shift within our company, and that is where I can cordially invite you to as well. We got to open up our minds in order to reflect a longer and more extended value chain, which is great fun, by the way. So you understand that there's so much knowledge within a company. It's just different qualifications and competences you have aboard, which you haven't been aware of yet. So that is great fun, having great people around you that are making this transformation possible without hurting. That's pretty cool. All we got to understand is what does our client understand, and how we kind of how we are shining outside there. How do our clients understand ourselves? What kind of image do we transport into their minds? And that is something we are focusing at. So what is the client thinking about ourselves? Making sure that we reflect all the 4 elements of our value chain. Yeah. So let's interact a little. Otherwise, it's getting boring to you guys. We do some Menti.
Let's go back to the interaction.
Yes.
We prepared something
we
for
need you guys now. We need to invite you to get your smartphones, tablets, anything you have aboard.
And go on www.menti.com.
Unless you don't have the app installed already on your iPhone.
Exactly. Like Jörg said, there's also an app, which is called Menti. So we give you 1-2 minutes to get ready. Yes,
log on to the website and hammer in this bloody code, which is 2787814. And answer that question you have on your screen. I hope you do.
I will do the same here. 2787814. Submit.
So that's very interesting question, though. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. What Christmas presents are you going to buy for your loved ones? If you don't have any idea, get something from me.
We do have 2 possible answers here.
2 only?
2 answers, yeah. So everyone can add 2 answers.
Oh, here we go. Amsterdam. I'm going to buy Amsterdam. No, you sent us Amsterdam. That is from Han, isn't it? Hello, love. You send love for Christmas.
We have time.
Perfect.
And socks.
What is nice? Nice, or did you mean your niece?
We also have the perfect dinner as a Christmas gift.
All right.
Family.
Amigos, yes, please. Friendship.
A handmade voucher.
Perfect.
Candles.
Amore. Who's sending amore?
A book.
Amsterdam is still in the lead.
Yeah, Amsterdam is a big one. Marrakesh. We do also have Marrakesh.
The Germans haven't voted yet. Germany would definitely be the sock people, right? It's the socks fraction. We've got a lot of Dutch people logged in, probably. It's all Amsterdam.
Perfume we have, and the vacancy.
What is that? The wax giffer?
Drinks, of course, the drinks. Don't forget about them.
Oh, yes. Snow bike. Amsterdam in the lead.
Well, we are going to meet there. So
we have to, and we will. Yes. Which is the good. This is, you know, looking forward in any kind of meaning would mean Amsterdam has won that race. So, hey, that's to you, Uta, and to Han, of course. We all look forward to meeting in Amsterdam next year. It's not that long away, is it?
No, it is.
The dates are fixed?
Yeah, end of June, 23rd till 25th.
as I said, we have our vaccine here already, so we are getting ourselves prepared later on. So probably there's an official vaccine outside there that we are all safe and sound for June Amsterdam, so we can all go wild and interact physically as well. So, so far this has been just a small presentation on how to interact with your online audience in a very, very basic level, which is still valid to do so, to warm up those people that they are getting engaged into your entire discussion or any kind of, you know, communication level, which is good to do so. You don't get people lost on their way if you have like those webinars that are, I don't know, hours and ages, and you're getting bored and hammer your head on your keyboard when you fall asleep. So that is something you have to avoid doing communication with different target audiences, be it physical or online. And the good thing is people in the room, and I think we've all experienced that several times, within the meeting, physical presence as well as online people have the same tool, and at the same time you bring them into one communication tool together in one room virtually. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Every 8 minutes you have to send an impulse to get people engaged if they are online, to not get them lost.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is that this is just one option about a huge variety you can interact with your people.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one of the basic ones. There's more techie stuff. We have to keep in mind, again, being customer centric, you have to ask them how much technology they are able to digest. And that is just a basic tool, online browsers, anything you can do with any kind of audience, be it a little more techie. There's virtual reality, there's augmented reality. One of those examples, probably I can show that if we can grab the signal here. That's just a common iPad, actually. It's the 12-inch, I believe. There's augmented reality, so that is, you put another layer above the physical room you have, actually. So if I try to, probably, if I can get that done here, I don't know. If we have a car, is that somehow possible? So I'm not a techie though, right? So I put that on Apple TV to get the signal. Here we go. And now I get a car placed into the room, if that is possible. Or I start with that one. Once more. Do we have the signal already? No.
We do have it. Yeah.
How does that work?
You have your screen in the back.
How do I get the car in this room? It doesn't recognize the huh? Where's my car? Oh, that's the gin and tonic. Here we go. Look at that. That's interesting. At least we can see it right now. My car had disappeared. My car is gone. Hold on a sec. I got to bring it back in the room. So as you can see, this is live. There was another color. I got to have assistance here. Melissa, get me the car back in the room. The tricky thing is, you know, all those techie features are cool as long as they work. They suck if they don't. And
there is
here we
the car.
go.
I was parked behind the screen.
That's the big rover. Okay. As you can see, this is an interactive tool. Out, you just hit my feet, actually. Not fair. Here we go. This is just, thank you. I'm not doing a driving test here. But the funny thing is, with a car like this, you can even enter the car if you go in here, basically, and you can, you know, look at the dashboard and while driving. The steering wheel is not interactive, I believe, but the more you do with the car, you can drive and jump out of the car again, and whatever you want to do with it, it's just a different layer of interaction, basically. So, of course, this thing is branded. Yes, it is. You can change the color and whatever you want to do with that. That's just a little techie stuff where you say, hey, guys, whatever you want to do. Yellow, well, it's not really fancy, though. Anything you want to do with this interactive tools, you can actually do whatever you want to do with that. So it's a different level, and translate that into a machinery tools or whatever you want to try out. Be it a little dental stuff. There's a lot of small devices if you go into the dental industry. you know, drilling tools and all that that are not really nice to present, but you can easily do so by interacting with small devices and bring them to the stage. So all we do is, again, sharing moments that are exclusive, and you do your productions and you present your products in a very interactive way. And the good thing about augmented reality, just to put that clear, you can send that to your online audience and interact with them live, even though they are not in the same room. So you can put any product in the room, and you can do the same thing with your online audience by interacting with them. And you can do a moderated tour through a machine or through a car, change the colors and do any kind of interaction with them. And that can be in large audiences or in smaller groups, whatever you want to do. That is where we feel interaction is getting ramped up, and the quality of communication in terms of more interaction which is needed is easily doable. All you need to make sure the story needs to be right, and my little technical hiccups are no longer there in the room. So that needs a little practice. As you can see, I was a little lost here. I'm a little older generation already in that circumstance. I'm sorry for that.
But I reckon everyone who has an iPad at home will enjoy the experience of having this Range Rover in their living room.
Yeah, you can't kill people, which is the good news with that, but you can practice a little driving, though, in the room. Great fun, though. Nothing can be destroyed. That's good to do, though.
Yeah. Okay. Now we've seen those interaction tools, and we do have some time planned for some questions and answers from you.
I saw the first question actually when I was just hiding in the backyard here, which was, again, from my friend Han. When do we have the gin and tonic? You have to fight for gin and tonic today. It's got to take a few more minutes, and then we're going to mix that up for you guys. At least we have one live here, and probably have one in your room as well that we can share that in a minute.
And this is a different sort of interaction as well.
It is.
So,
Uta, do you have questions?
We do have, well, actually, so far I do have questions, but everybody else is more than happy to ask questions as well, of course, as we always do. But one thing is what I would like to know, if you have already experienced something on this, monetarization. Are attendees willing to pay for the attendance at a convention, not physically, but online? Did any of your customers use this possibility? Are attendees really willing to pay for it? Because this is a big question everybody asks.
There's not a big marketing study or market study per se. Monetization is something everybody's trying out. There's different surveys, how much in percentage to a regular ticket are people willing to spend for online ticketing. At the end of the day, the business model is pretty simple, as I would always compare that to the Sky business model. If you want to have a Sky, you know, like the basic package, it's whatever, 25 euros. If you want to have HD television reception, it's another $5 on top of that. If you want to have the Premier League or whatever, any other exclusive channel you kind of book, it's like you have like 20 to $50 a month for content. And that is the king again, the content. Or you go to the movies, you pay if the content is great, you pay extra money because you're willing to do so. The same thing applies to our kind of communication. If you provide content to the table, that thing is payable and it's monetizable. At the end of the day, this is the king. There is no such thing as, you know, $20 for this kind of content as yet in our kind of communication platform as yet. This will go and this will start to happen in the next couple of months. Everybody is trying that. All the trade show organizers are going digital, and none of them is going really hybrid as yet. They probably should call us and we tell them how to do that. No, that's you cut that off. But that is something that we need to practice. How much money is paid on what content? So there's no such survey as yet, Uta. I can't give you any price list on what content is chargeable on what price level as yet. Working on it.
Okay, if you don't answer this one, maybe you can answer this one. How happy are visitors? You for sure, and your customers for sure, do surveys and research with their participants, those online as well as those at the venue. And if you compare both groups, who are more happy? And well, are they happy actually at first?
Good news, yes, they're all very happy. And the better news for all of us is, or the best news, the guys who've been here physically are happier than those guys who are just, well, in brackets, visiting online. Happier because of the full package and the full range of services they can enjoy once they're physically here on the ground. As you have your G&T and you have your catering and you have it all here, you can interact physically, you have the direct feedback, you smell, you see, you touch and all that stuff, even though touching is kind of limited right now at the COVID-19 pandemic. But that is what we have to learn. You have to engage those online people to make them pay for content you provide, which is exclusive. So that is the task we have ahead of us. It is, of course, not as cool as being physically on the ground within a meeting and having all the elements and all the senses that are live entertained. But we have to learn that entertainment per se is very important for those guys who are physically not in the room, but you have to make them feel that they're in the room. And that is something we need to practice. As long as you are the sender, you have to practice, and the recipient has to practice as well. And, you know, to be engaged in the room. Yeah.
Okay, and one question, hand on your heart.
There's my phone.
Okay, the hand on your phone. Did you have any kind of fuck up? Any situation where you said, okay, this was something for the learning curve?
Oh yeah, I mean the first live event we had in here, we all are aware of this little thing that happened. Actually, we've been hacked. Luckily, it was the only time we got hacked, because we have learned that this has to be very, very solid and very safe. We have to send out passwords and all that stuff. So the registration process was something we immediately had to learn, as there's been a lot of hassle going on, so to speak. And we have practiced that one in the first run. Lucky for us, we knew it, we experienced that, and there's just a small hiccup here and there that we experience. One of those hiccups is, if you have the expectation that you reach out to masses of people being registered online, I can only say it's not going to work automatically. You got to learn how to change your marketing channel and marketing distribution in different channels, be it a social media campaign, for instance, to prepare the guys that you are inviting what is expected. So you need to ramp up a story prior to the real story on, for instance, social media. So that is something we had to learn. We had a lot of feedback, which was positive as well as constructive criticism, in terms of they were happy, they were surprised, positively surprised that the format itself works. The type of interaction needs more practice. That is what we have learned. We just thought, like, you know, within 15 minutes, here's the moderator, here's the mic, here's the camera, there's live audience, and oh, here's another camera, there's online audience. You need to have a little practice here, and we need to focus. That is what we have collected as a lot of feedback, more on trying out if the story works in terms of, you know, your storybook. How to transmit the story to two different audiences is something that needs practice, and that is where we put more time into right now, to practice the prior to the real event, ramp up story, ramp up the emotion, to be able to have this little firework for the real event that is happening then. So you need to have focus on preparation, as you have to focus on a trade show preparation as well. So it's not to be neglected that preparation is the key to, well, hit the target audience you need to want to achieve, actually.
Okay, and then another question, actually. We are seeing tons of virtual events happening, where you can be with an avatar or yourself, or just having lists there. Some are asking for the 3ID plans to upload their booth. They have already planned. You have planned the architecture, and then they put this three-dimensional stand online, and they do have some touch points. Do you see value here?
Why would I see that, Uta? I mean, we are live comm enthusiasts, right? So live communication is what? Do you want to speak interactively with an avatar? I'm too old for that, but this is something which is so freaking unsexy. There's no sex appeal, no nothing. There's no feedback to you don't see nothing, right? There's no face, there's no smile, there's no ground or whatever, nothing. Being a live communication enthusiast, I cannot imagine to live in a world where people are interacting with avatars. Not even the guys, you probably all know this Gamescom, right, in Cologne, actually. Even those guys, the kids that are into that gamification so deeply, the first thing after asking those guys, how did you like this first digital Gamescom this year in Cologne, they were saying, well, yeah, it was okay, but we'd like to meet next year then, right? And that is proof of concept that live communication is irreplaceable. You cannot imagine communicating emotionally to an avatar. That is a little spooky anyway, and I do not believe in that. If you ask me, that is my opinion. I do not believe in a full virtual whatever show which is really coming across with emotion and real messages. I don't believe in that. That is why we are not supporting it. What we believe in is that the world will go hybrid, and yes, we have to bring this kind of hybrid concept and a couple of tools like different studios around Europe and even around the globe in a form of a network together to bring this hybrid format to the people out there. That is what we believe in. Hybrid is just having a live communication event in a physical environment, and you connect the dots that are missing with digital tools. But that is still, you connect people together that are live in a room, but you bring them together on digital tools and digital platforms. But it's never an avatar, and it doesn't make sense from my point of view to just virtualize an existing, even if you have painted that whole thing and constructed the whole thing and planned everything in 3D, it does not make sense to virtualize an empty exhibit booth where you, for instance, have a meeting room full of tables and chairs, but there's no content, there's no messaging, no nothing. I would say this is boring as hell. So why would I do that?
Thanks for the clear answer. Other question. Well, you're actually in between the Hamburg and the Hanover Fairground. So how often are you booked for the upcoming shows, which will be back hopefully sooner than later?
Oh, the cool thing is there's a lot of questions coming into our sales funnel right now. If we can pre-produce a couple of things and products or whatever, keynotes, panel discussions, whatever you can imagine, pre-show events that are happening right here, and we put that on tape to send it within whatever kind of a presence there will be on the ground at any kind of show, which is funny. Those guys have learned, hey, this is like a television and TV production we're talking about, which will be sent out during a live event. So that is something which is actually coming up right now. People want to pre-produce things to send them where the main television channel, so to speak, is opening up, which is back to life. That is something very positive, we believe. So people are focusing on content where we need to be able to help out. And once we have those stories filed, we can send them out, or the client can send them out whenever they want. So those are key issues. We have to create shareable moments that are exclusive, and we can distribute them in any way, be it digital or be it live on a different stage or at your next exhibit booth in one of the next and upcoming trade shows next year and the years to come. So we combine, and that will stay alive, we combine both elements. We have to understand that there will be digital features on any physical presence in the future, and we need to be able, as an industry, to cover the whole thing, to, of course, survive and make money with that.
So, I think last question, and as everybody is recalling the last answer, this is one really you have to give an outlook for the industry and like never waste a crisis. So what do you expect for the years to come, when even if shows are possible again, where do you see our industry? Not the product, something hybrids, but where do you see our industry, those people who are creative and building booths and doing all this stuff with rules and regulations and things like this? Do they have to adapt? Do they have to change, or can we wait?
Well, if you don't change, you will be out of business within the next couple of months, no doubt about that. So it's not about survival, it's not about continue moaning. I believe the industry is changing, the market is changing, and we have to change too. If we don't get that, we are out of business. So what I'm saying and what I can invite you to, let's exchange at the IFES platform what are our learnings, what are our fuck-ups, and are we willing to share them? Because the 10 mistakes I have made and share them with you helps you to not make the same mistakes. If you make 10 other mistakes, be so kind and share them with our community to make sure we are changing pretty fast and very precise in order to create prosperity at the end of the day. So we all want to survive this whole crisis, and we want to get out of the crisis and make things right, have a different value chain, and of course, that is what we call our Holtmann Plus principle. We need to be partners in a certain way, probably in a different way than in the past. We don't want to beat ourselves to death basically in any kind of pitch situation. We want to create business, and I believe our industry is shifting in a geographical way as well. So there will not be, not automatically, not in 21, at least I don't see them coming up in 21, those huge events on international scale in one exhibit facility. There's no way that this is going to happen. So it's more the continental shift we are expecting, I believe, that there is a North America, South American approach, there's an European approach, and an Asian or Asia-Pacific approach. And those markets we need to be able to combine. So if there is a certain topic happening in Europe and parallel in Asia and in America, we have to create platforms jointly to make this industry interact again, because they're not traveling, they're not physically meeting in large quantities in one exhibit hall. And there is something where I believe there's chances and opportunities. We just got to be able to open up our heads and you know, collaborate in different ways.
So thanks to the Holtmann team, to Diana, to you, Jörg, and to Robin for this impressive. I read a lot of impressive and wow and in the chat function contribution to our solution session. What I like most is the positive attitude you're acting with. I haven't heard any me today, which...
Not from us, no.
No, not at all.
And it's $5 on the table for any me, not $50, right?
$50, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the industry of making things happening and enable things, and this is one of a great example. So, and then we have of course prepared something for you to share. So whoever has a glass of gin and tonic around, well, for us it's
tonic. We got to do a little picture on that one. Can we put that on the screen? How many gin and tonics do we have, Melissa?
Can we have our gin and tonic
in the
here?
production office as well?
Yeah. Do you want to join us?
Melissa, can you put the Zoom screen on the big screen here, that everybody can see that here in the room as well? As we have a lot of live audience in here, you can't see that, but I can. Here we go. Our waiter is coming with a gin and tonic.
Okay, we have to prepare this by ourselves. We are a poor association.
All right, so I have to open up which bottle. It's number 6.
So ice cubes. We have some.
I have opened up bottle number 6 now. Who had the other 5? Diana.
What number do I have?
I don't know. Probably you should open that one.
I have bottle number 1.
So
what?
Number 1? Or 55.
So here we are.
Wait a second.
Alina's going to join us.
This is
so
still,
I have to move to the...
Here we go. Do you want to have a solid or a weak?
Solid one, please.
There you go. What time is it anyway? Are you driving or not? Who of you guys is driving? Are you in your home offices?
So happy for those who are at home.
You work at home? Well, this is my living room, actually, where we're at right now, as I'm on stage every single day, which is great fun, by the way. So you get used to awkward kind of communication. So a fever tree, a little product placement. The Mediterranean works best with the Holtmann gin, in case you get one of our bottles. As you can say, they are limited. Number 6 is gone by tonight. So tomorrow is number 7.
We do also have Hendrix gin. I see it in the back.
We have what?
We have a Hendrix gin.
Oh, Hendrix is not too bad. You have to have a cucumber with that one.
It's flavored with cucumber as well, I've heard.
Is it already? Okay. Where's the cucumber inside? Han, show me the cucumber. Are you cheating on us? Where is your cucumber? I want to see it. Here we go. I have a...
Bruno with a fellow gin. Great.
It doesn't help if the cucumber is outside the gin.
Just a slice of cucumber. Just a slice.
Exactly. Don't shred the whole cucumber inside of the gin. Hey, this has been a great, cool discussion with you guys, even though you haven't finished with your questions yet. If there's further questions, ask Diana, because I'm going to have a couple of drinks here.
I thought we were doing this together.
Oh, yeah.
You're having a question?
Yeah, just a comment, just interesting about hybrid and how I see it. I think there's going to be a lot of hybrid events because it's very easy to switch from hybrid into an actual event. So I think we will see a period often where people are hybrid because it's just easier to say we're still having the event and it's still got a live component. So you're going to have a lot of hybrid events that are going to be hybrid. So it's going to change quite a lot. So it's easy to say I'm having this event, it's going to be hybrid. And then if we get a vaccine or do whatever, then changes to a real event. And if we don't get a real event, people are scared to come to hybrid, I've still got a virtual event. So it's quite an interesting way to secure events, hybrid, when it often might not even be a hybrid. It might not happen like a hybrid.
Totally agree on that one. The thing is, once we have understood how hybrid events work, it doesn't matter how much of a proportion is going back to life. We all do hope it's going back to life, but some elements will remain hybrid, as I believe it's not a single event we're focusing at in the future, our industry at least not. We should focus on a community which is working 24/7, 365. If we understand that, there's more impulses in terms of communication needed, and we are all able to serve that. So once we are into that circle of communication, we should be safe and sound in future as well. So don't focus on single events, hybrid throughout the full year of marketing cycle, and we're all back on track. So that is my belief, at least. So that's a lot of mind shift, but people will communicate and they will go back to life once they are able to, and let's get that done with the first vaccine here today, right? I love this vaccine and it tastes good anyway. So Han, did you manage to get the cucumber inside the glass?
Han left us.
Are we ready to go? Where's Han? He left.
He left.
Oh no, he ate the cucumber and dumped the gin. Ah, what a man, my crazy Dutchman.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Hey, it's been a pleasure.
To all of you, and to your health. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that is stable. Who makes that?
You were generous.
Try it out. So again, Fever Tree with the Holtmann gin, which is not in the market. You have to come here to Hanover to get one of the bottles. Number 7 tomorrow, whoever's first.
Good. So.
Do I focus on drinking now, or shall we continue talking?
Actually, I think we are happy to. I would actually have a different opinion. Christina, why don't you open up your mic?
Hi, yes, I was just thinking that we as a company work with so many segments. We talk about healthcare, defense, tourism, IT, and if you are talking about hybrid events, I mean, imagine the content you have to create for all these segments. It's totally different. So when you are talking about creating a hybrid, right? how do you base this system? I mean, what kind of research you have? How do you gather all this information and needs from your client? Because it looks to me that everyone is coming with a solution, but we really do not have studied the problem in depth. It's a point of view. I just see that, you know, lots of people, and we are talking about, maybe I'm an old generation, but again, I'm not an IT person. I do not work with technology as much as, you know, the younger generation works. So at this level, maybe lots of people have no idea how to use this technology in depth. So you would be in a meeting with people which would have problems switching from, you know, seeing a screen or seeing, you know, trying to understand the communication. It's, I mean, I might be wrong.
If I might jump in here, the thing is, it's not about technology, even though, you know, people entering this facility here are always kind of flashed because of the huge LED screen, which is not what is important. Important is you need to have partners to create the content, and that is the king, as it's always been in the movies industry. Content is king, and you need to have partners to write the stories. Once we know the story and you open up the questions by having open questions and shutting up and take notes, then you come up with solutions that are probably even an exhibit booth, but it starts way, way earlier because you create the content, and adjacent to the content story, there is you guys producing an exhibit booth or any kind of other installation which fits to the story, and that is different. This exhibit booth is not created because of design aspects, is created fitting to the story. So this is just a channel to distribute your message, and it's a physical whatever, right? It is not an architectural masterpiece. It is the story first, and the storyline goes into some kind of architecture, and it can be technology. It doesn't have to be technology. So don't focus on, I'm not a techie person, I'm out. You're not out. Once you open up the microphone with your clients, let him speak, and you just record the message and create the story out of that message. If you need help on that one, you need to have partners that are content focused, like associations that speak for an industry. Interview those guys as well, and then you create and come up with a solution that doesn't have to be necessarily technology driven. They are content driven, never technology driven. So technology and architecture comes second and third. First is the story.
So everybody is
The air is
just
so dry. I need to get away with the dust in my throat. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think this was a great session. I want to close it right now, and I will invite you to our next session, which will be on this Friday, 3 p.m. European time, Central European time. So it's UTC +1, and it will be a kind of Skype role, but it will be hosted by our still president. He has a little bit more than 1 month to go, and our upcoming president, you know for a long time, even longer than me, as the IFES treasurer. And yeah, well, they will share their thoughts about what was happening within the last 2 years and what will be the future. And it would be great to see you all there. I'm sure it's going to be fun, and prepare your drinks for Friday afternoon as well. And I think it's going to last around 1 hour, so we are done at 4 p.m.
So what do we have to get prepared for? Is it Uzo and what do we have?
Amarula.
Justin, what are we going to have in South Africa?
Amarula.
All right.
Amarula.
Okay, we need to have 2 drinks. Peter, what are you coming up with?
Uzo. Rocky. Mampur. Amarula.
All right.
There's Amarula. But I see Nigel, you there online, and Gary, you online. You know what Mampur is? It's a very powerful, like a Rocky. Like a,
all right.
Okay, we tried this in Amsterdam.
Oh yes, for sure.
For sure.
We need to practice. It's not going to happen just once, right?
Yes. So enjoy your day, enjoy your week. Hope to see you all on Friday. And it was great having you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
joining.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Thank you. Bye.